Hello, and here is the news on NTA International. I'm Lami Ali. The sign language interpreter is Courage Ogiriahi. We begin with the headlines. Ahead of 2026 WPRF, federal government prepares stage to unveil achievements in information and communication, says Nigeria reforming, rebranding and re-emerging. Vice President Shettima at 7th EFCC NJI workshop expresses worry over frivolous appeals and judgments based on technicalities impeding the war against corruption. Also on the news, correspondence on importance of figures in World Statistics Day. Now, frivolous appeals, alleged intimidation of judges and judgments delivered on grounds of technicalities are some of the challenges impeding the war against corruption in Nigeria. President Tinubu, represented by Vice President Kashim Shettima, stated this while declaring open the 7th Economic and Financial Crimes Commission and the National Judicial Institute Capacity Building Workshop for Judicial Officers. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila reports.
This annual event, 7th in the series, is a meeting of two reliable partners expected to exchange ideas to ensure the prevention of corruption and administration of justice to build public trust in governance, with the theme enhancing justice in the fight against economic and financial crimes.
The Commission is disturbed by the trend in which some judges of state high courts issue orders to apprehend the powers of the Commission to investigate money laundering cases, even though it is clearly established that those matters are outside their purview. More worrisome is the fact that most of those decisions are made ex parte. Even where the Commission appeals, there are no restraints in making contempt decisions against it.
We must remain proactive and adaptive, ensuring that the law continues to keep pace with the innovations that criminals exploit. The judiciary remains the last line of defense against impunity. The fight against economic and financial crimes cannot succeed if the judiciary falters. Each ruling, each judgment carries implications that extend far beyond the courtroom. They either strengthen or weaken the people's faith in the capacity of the law to hold all persons accountable regardless of status, power, or privilege.
Fighting corruption requires political will and the three arms of government to create strong fiscal institutions that will promote integrity and accountability for economic growth.
As an administration, we have prioritized public accountability by strengthening the anti-corruption agencies and according them the needed independence to execute their statutory mandates. This enabling environment is evident in the impact that has been made in the last 2 years. The EFCC, for example, has recorded over 7,000 convictions in the first 2 years of the present administration and recovered assets in excess of 500 billion naira. Recovered proceeds of crime by the agency are being plugged back into the economy to fund critical social investment programs, including the students' loan and consumer credit schemes.
The war against corruption demands a trinity of virtue: an independent judiciary, a disciplined enforcement community, and a vigilant citizenry. Where these three stand united, no portraits of corruption can stand.
At the end of this engagement, issues of misuse of security votes, justice administration, and other collective actions in winning the war against economic and financial crimes in Nigeria is expected to be addressed. In Abuja, Abdurrahman Jibrila, NTA News.
The forthcoming World Public Relations Forum will be an opportunity to present Nigeria as a model of transformation through communication. Under President Tinubu's leadership, the world is seeing a Nigeria that is reforming, rebranding and re-emerging, driven by innovation, private sector growth and renewed international confidence. Minister of Information and National Orientation Mohammed Idris said this as the unveiling of the World Public Relations Forum 2026. Haman Jabani reports.
The World Public Relations Forum is a biennial global event organized by Global Alliance for Public Relations and Communication Management to bring together senior public relations, academic and association leaders from around the world. The purpose to examine major issues affecting the PR profession and how the profession in turn affect the society. Nigeria's hosting of the next, experts and stakeholders say it will be a redefining moment for Nigeria's leadership in global dialogue for responsible communication.
And part of responsible communication is to know how to manage our challenges and our issues in the interest of our nation. Because when anything goes down, after all said and done, it is Nigeria.
Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris says, through the National Orientation Policy and Open Government Communication Framework and the strengthening of government information institutions for truthful governance narrative and citizen inclusion, it has been promoted while restoring confidence, rebuilding values, and reconnecting the people to their government through clarity, transparency, and hope-driven communication.
Let us carry forward the spirit of renewed hope, a hope that believes in the Nigerian story, the Nigerian voice, and the Nigerian future. Under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Nigeria is indeed reshaping its global image. Let this forum be remembered as the moment when Africa's largest democracy led the world in defining what it means to communicate with conscience.
The minister stressed that there is no iota of truth in the claim of a Christian genocide in Nigeria and urged media professionals to use the instrument of public relations crafted in truths and facts to reject the despicable single narratives about Nigeria. The National Assembly, traditional rulers, media chiefs and other stakeholders pledged their support to the success of the WPRF-COM 2026.
I'm really impressed by what NIPR is trying to do, and we are all looking forward to this great event next year in November. And if there's anything we can do to help the NIPR to organize this grand event, please feel free to contact us to help.
Our protocol department, we are going to also ramp up all our efforts in our protocol department to ensure that these events you are putting together will give maximum support in the aviation sector.
The traditional institution in Nigeria, I assure you, my position as the coordinating chairman of this committee of National Traditional Council of Nigeria, I assure you, we give you 100% support in this project.
I would like to congratulate the NIPR on behalf of BON and of course the NTA, and to also assure you that the BON will be with you all through this journey of hosting the world in Nigeria. And I want to say that NTA is going to be the official broadcaster of this forum.
With the theme, Responsible Communication, the clock has started clicking with the unveiling of the WPFR 2026. Registration of delegates has commenced, and the public presentation of two Baba House music ambassadors. The planning committee says it is set for the biggest, brightest and boldest voice for ethical and responsible communication in Africa and beyond. Haman Jabani, NTA News.
And in the Middle East, after deadly strikes on Gaza over apparent truce violation by Palestinian armed groups, U.S. President Donald Trump says the ceasefire between Israel and Hamas is still in effect. And crowd of supporters rejoice after Rodrigo Paz wins a general election, ending 2 decades of socialist rule that have left Bolivia in economic crisis. Framapangi has details.
Gaza Civil Defense Agency says at least 45 people were killed after the deadly strike by Palestinian armed groups. The Israeli military said it's reviewing reports of civilian casualties. Aboard Air Force One, President Trump told reporters the ceasefire he helped broker between Israel and Hamas remains in effect, even after what he called isolated incidents.
Well, we're going to have to see what's happening. We want to make sure that it's going to be very peaceful with Hamas. And as you know, they've been quite rambunctious. They've been doing some shooting, and we think maybe the leadership isn't involved in that. Some rebels within, but either way, it's going to be handled properly.
Trump's comment came hours after Israel launched airstrikes on Hamas positions in Gaza, accusing the group of targeting its troops. Meanwhile, Vice President James David Vance downplayed the renewed fighting, saying flare-ups were expected in the early days of the ceasefire. The ceasefire, which took effect on October 10, ended more than 2 years of war that left tens of thousands dead and much of Gaza in ruins. It also outlined plans for hostage and prisoner exchanges and a roadmap for Gaza's future, though the implementation has faced challenges. The White House says it remains committed to supporting the ceasefire agreement and will continue to push for what it calls a durable and peaceful future for both Israelis and Palestinians. In Bolivia, a major political shift is underway as pro-business Senator Rodrigo Paz has been elected president. Celebrations echoed loud in the air in La Paz as Rodrigo Paz Pereira, a candidate of the Christian Democratic Party, addressed a jubilant crowd of supporters following his election victory, saying it is not Rodrigo who wins or loses, it is Bolivia that wins through the democratic process. With nearly all ballots counted, official results show Paz winning with 54.57% of the vote against 45.43% for former President Jorge Tuto Quiroga. The president-elect thanked Bolivians for the confidence and vowed to restore the nation's global standing. Paz also extended appreciation to several regional leaders, including the president of Panama, Paraguay, Uruguay, Ecuador and Peru, who reached out to congratulate him. Reports say the new president is set to be inaugurated on November 25, ushering a new era for Bolivia, one defined by market-friendly policies after years of socialist governance. Frama Pangi, NTA News.
The People's Republic of China has commended the Nigerian government for the successful rescue of 4 of its citizens kidnapped in Kwara State. The rescue operation, jointly carried out by the Office of the National Security Advisor, the Department of State Services, the Nigerian Army and the police, led to the safe recovery of the Chinese nationals. As the formal handover of the victims in Abuja, the Chinese ambassador to Nigeria, Yu Dunhai, represented by the consul Wang Jun, lauded the Nigerian security agencies, particularly the DSS, for their swift, intelligence-led response. He also commended the service for providing first-rate medical attention to the rescued individuals at its medical facility in Abuja.
I will, on behalf of our ambassador, and I will just appreciate for the effort about the Nigerian government. And third, I just will appreciate just to say this time, all the Department of Nigeria do their best to rescue our citizens. As you know, last year, just His Excellency, the President Tinubu, just visit China. 2 country leaders just reach agreement, just upgrade the 2 country relations. And this time, I think it's certificate the Nigerian people just do very great for the Chinese people. We are just good friends there. Just know we just if we have some problem and just we talk with the Nigerian government, they do their best.
Meanwhile, the DSS continues its nationwide operations against criminal syndicates, recently recording significant breakthroughs, including the interception of arms and ammunition in Delta State. A development widely praised as a testament to its commitment to national security and public safety. In Hong Kong, 2 men have been confirmed dead in a cargo plane which veered off a runway during landing, hit a security patrol car and skidded into the sea. Here is Frama Pangi with the details.
The Boeing aircraft arriving from Dubai left the tarmac at around 4 a.m. local time, crashing through a perimeter fence and partially submerging in seawater. The incident, one of the most serious since the airport opened in 1998, left the plane's fuselage damaged and its emergency evacuation slide deployed. Stephen Yu, Executive Director of Airport Operations at Airport Authority, Hong Kong, clarified that the patrol vehicle was not on the runway at the time.
We are deeply saddened and extend our deepest condolence We will provide the family with all necessary support and assistance. We do not expect any impact to today's operation. According to information we have at that moment, weather and the one-way conditions were safe and meet all conditions for one-way operation. And investigation is continuing. The loft one-way remains closed. It will be reopened after the safety assessment.
A 30-year-old man in the vehicle was pronounced dead at the scene, while a 41-year-old one succumbed to the injuries after being rushed to a hospital. Divers recovered both men from the sunken vehicle, located about 5 meters from the shore. The airline operating the flight confirmed the plane's crew was unharmed and that the aircraft on a short-term lease from ACT. Airlines carried no cargo. Authorities have launched an investigation to determine the cause of the crash at one of the world's busiest air cargo hubs. Frama Haini, NTA News.
Commuters coming into the Federal Capital Territory this Monday experienced a hard time getting into the city due to gridlocks in all entrances as the access from Maraba, Lugbe and Kubwa. This delayed many from reaching their offices and places of business on time.
Very close to my office, but there's no road to enter my office. A journey of just 30 minutes. I ended up making 1 hour, 30 minutes.
Before we could get here, it was just a long kind of walk and trek. We trekked for like a very long period of time.
You're watching the news on NTA International. It's time to take a break. More stories when we return. Please stay. 20 marks a crucial date on the global calendar. It's World Statistics Day. This year, the international community is not just counting numbers, they are celebrating how quality data acts as the very bedrock of a better life. Comfort Fashion delved into why this day matters from the global front to your local community in a special report.
Across the globe, the international community is posing to celebrate the profound power of accurate, reliable, and accessible statistics. The theme for this year's World Statistics Day is simple, yet potent: quality statistics and data for everyone. Data is the unseen engine driving progress. It gives government policies precision needed to maximize democratic dividend. It moves conversations from speculation to facts. For the first time in history, a truly global chorus will sound. All 5 United Nations regional commissions are uniting for the landmark 24-hour non-stop live webinar. A global conversations where voices will rise with data and stories will be rooted in truth. A global push for statistical integrity is particularly relevant here in Nigeria.
When you talk about statistics, statistics has to do with evidence-based approach in problem solving, in intervention, apply interventions to issues, and for government to be able to have a very good picture of what is happening now and what will happen tomorrow or in the future.
He said data is the new oil. It is everywhere, it is useful, but it burns out. What if data is a new soil? It is fertile, it is renewable, and it is creative.
It is where insight grows and hope is rooted. Across our planets, from classrooms in Abuja to laboratories in Armenia, we plant seeds of insight because when everyone counts, no one gets left behind. On this World Statistics Day, the celebration serves as a powerful reminder. The quality of the statistics we collect today will directly determine the quality of the decision we make for tomorrow. Comfort, fashion, NTA News.
And in Nigeria's farmlands, a quiet revolution is sprouting, one where code meets crops. As climate change challenges traditional farming, young tech innovators are bringing artificial intelligence into the soil, helping farmers predict, preserve and produce more than ever before. Justin Bemui has the details.
I'm taking the soil pH, the airflow and then the moisture.
With just a few taps on his phone, Dandam Nango knows exactly what his crops need, from the greenhouse temperature to the soil's pH level. Artificial intelligence is transforming the way he farms, turning every data point into a tool for survival and success.
Even when I'm away, I check the soil moisture and then it gives me direction on how, when to release water, when not to release water.
Here in Jos, the Plateau State capital, farms have long been the nation's vegetable basket. But as rains grow unpredictable and the seasons shift, technology is becoming the new fertilizer for hope.
This agri-tech innovator is designed to provide farmers with AI-driven recommendations to help them make better decisions and smarter decisions as they engage with their farmlands.
At the heart of this transformation is Green Eden, a local agri-tech startup linking farmers to smart data.
So the hardware collects, we put our probes, connect them to the soil, mount them in different areas of the farm, and then it is able to collect information. So it collects temperature, humidity, soil moisture content.
Backed by artificial intelligence, Stephanie Melter's system gathers soil data through probes and sends instant updates to farmers' mobile phones. It's an innovation bridging Nigeria's fast-growing tech scene and its rural heartlands.
These sensors are linked. They are linked such that we have them running through the soil. So we have this linked, and then they move all the way. And then you can see we have our wires.
But challenges remain. Only 40% of Nigerians have access to the internet. Far fewer in rural areas where it is needed most. And while AI promises higher yields, critics say the technology must also help tackle farming's toll on the environment, from land degradation to poor irrigation systems. Still, for farmers like Nango, the impact is already real. A boost in productivity and the renewed belief that data could be the next big harvest. From phones to farmlands, Nigeria's farmers are learning that the next green revolution may not come from the skies, but from the cloud. Justin Bemui, NTA News.
Now, the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction is not just another institution. It is a lifeline to millions of Nigerians. These were the words of the Minister of State, Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction, Dr. Tanko Yusuf Sununu, during a two-day retreat on the performance management system organized for agencies and departments under its purview. Ruth Aguele reports.
Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction contribute to the Renew Hope agenda of Mr. President.
In its pursuit of national development, responding to humanitarian crisis, building resilience and ensuring no one is left behind, the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction is redefining its performance index towards fulfilling its mandate and realigning with the priority agenda of the present administration. This sectoral retreat for agencies and departments under its purview is to stir collective efforts with focus on performance, purpose and progress, a new horizon for humanitarian affairs.
This meeting, after it also, we expect to develop a strong transparency and accountability framework that will help us in building the image of the ministry, to give us the better way of collaborating and introducing innovations so that our ministry will not be left behind in the desire of Mr. President for everyone to be carried along in discharge of the duty.
This is in accordance with the Mr. President directives, and it's going to raise the standard of performance in the civil service.
For these key players, the expectations are high, with a responsibility to come up with a clear springboard of purpose through continuous dialogue and feedback mechanisms to bridge gaps and lift millions of Nigerians out of poverty. In Abuja, Ruth Aguela, NTA News.
The Chairman CEO of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NACON, Professor Abdullahi Salih Usman, has inaugurated the Aviation Monitoring Committee for the 2026 Hajj exercise in Abuja. The chairman urged the newly inaugurated committee to function as diligent gatekeepers entrusted with the critical mandate of undertaking transparent and impartial monitoring of all aviation matters. He made it clear that the committee is a functional, non-decorative body reflecting the Commission's zero tolerance for failure and its core commitment to pilgrim welfare. The chairman emphasized that while the Commission has recorded steady improvements in airlift logistics, aviation remains the most sensitive and visible component of Hajj operations. The committee's terms of reference include reviewing, participating and evaluating all documents submitted by applicants, airlines and cargo carriers for the 2026 Hajj, inspecting and assessing the readiness of designated airports for Hajj operations. Others are making observations and recommendations on airport preparedness, monitoring inbound and outbound flights at all departure centers to ensure compliance with airlift agreements and industry standards, and also monitoring the quality of in-flight services in line with industry standards. And that does it on the news at this time on NTA International. We thank you for your time. I'm Lami Ali. Courage Ogiriayi has been the sign language interpreter. Do have a good evening.